I had always believed that my life was a masterpiece of routine, a carefully curated schedule marked by the steady hum of work, quiet evenings at home, and predictable weekends. Every detail was logged on my digital calendar, every hour allocated to familiar tasks. I prided myself on my discipline and on the comforting certainty of order. That is, until one humid summer evening when a sudden alert shattered my sense of predictability and set my heart racing. It was nearing 9 p.m. and I was finishing a long day at the office when my phone vibrated with an unfamiliar chime. At first, I assumed it was a routine reminder, perhaps a calendar alert for tomorrow's meeting. But as I glanced at the screen, my eyes widened at the message displayed. Exclusive spa session, tonight at 11 p.m. Claim your escape. Code, Elysium. The message was brief yet arresting, a luxurious invitation to a spa session that promised exclusivity and indulgence. The sender was unknown, and the formatting was elegant, with subtle hints of gold embossed in the text. I hesitated, my mind racing. I did not recall booking any spa session, much less receiving one via an unsolicited alert. Was this some elaborate marketing gimmick? Or perhaps, had someone been watching me? The more I pondered the alert, the more it felt personal, like a key unlocking a door to a hidden world. I checked my calendar and email, desperate to find any trace of an appointment, but there was nothing. Yet, the alert remained persistent on my screen. My pulse quickened as I tapped it, and a discreet pop-up detailed further instructions. Join us for an evening of rejuvenation and mystery. Confirm your attendance to unveil the details. Without really knowing why, I found myself compelled to click confirm. In that moment, I experienced a heady mix of curiosity and trepidation, a whisper of a secret life I had never dared to imagine. The rest of the day took on an otherworldly quality. I couldn't concentrate on the mundane tasks at work. My thoughts kept returning to the spa invitation, and I wondered if perhaps I had been longing for an escape without even realizing it. The idea of slipping away into a cocoon of luxury, to indulge in an experience that promised not only pampering but something deeper, a chance to reconnect with parts of myself that had been buried under the weight of everyday routine, filled me with both excitement and anxiety. That night, after a rushed dinner at a nearby cafe, I returned home with my mind swirling in anticipation. I sat in the dim light of my living room, the gentle hum of the city in the distance, and reread the alert. Exclusive spa session, tonight at 11 p.m. Code, Elysium. The code word Elysium resonated with me, a word that conjured images of paradise and bliss. I felt as if this message was a sign, an invitation to step outside the confines of my usual life and into a realm of hidden pleasures. With trembling hands, I set my phone beside me and allowed my imagination to wander. I pictured a luxurious spa nestled in a chic, upscale hotel, a sanctuary where time slowed, where the stresses of the day melted away under the caress of soothing music and aromatic oils. I imagined soft, ambient lighting, plush seating, and discreet staff who moved with silent efficiency. But more than that, I imagined that I wouldn't be alone. In the back of my mind, I sensed that the invitation carried a secret, a hidden connection, a mysterious admirer who had orchestrated this night out for reasons I could not yet fathom. I tried to dismiss the thought as mere fantasy, but it lingered like an echo in the silence. Was it possible that someone had been watching me from afar, admiring me in ways I never knew? The notion both thrilled and unnerved me. I had always been cautious, guarding my personal space and keeping my desires tucked away. Yet, the alert was a direct challenge, a dare to embrace the unknown. As midnight approached, I found myself pacing in my small apartment, the anticipation almost unbearable. I dressed in a carefully chosen outfit, a soft, flowing black blouse paired with tailored trousers, subtle enough to be elegant but daring enough to hint at a hidden allure. I applied a touch of makeup, accentuating my eyes, and stepped out into the night with a resolve I had never felt before. I hailed a rideshare, and as the car merged into the softly lit streets, I gazed out the window. The city appeared transformed under the gentle glow of streetlights and the rhythmic patter of rain, a city of secrets waiting to be discovered. When the car finally pulled up to the address provided in the alert, my heart pounded with nervous excitement. The destination was an upscale hotel known as the Seraphim, a name that seemed to promise both sanctuary and something more ethereal. I stepped out into the cool night air, my breath visible in the dampness, and approached the imposing entrance. The lobby was a vision of opulence, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and an air of quiet elegance that enveloped every guest in its embrace. At the reception desk, a courteous attendant greeted me with a smile that hinted at knowing secrets. "Welcome to the Seraphim," he said softly. "May I have your name, please?" I hesitated, unsure of what I should say. "My name is," I began, but then my eyes flicked to the screen of my phone, still displaying the alert, "Code Elysium. I believe I have an appointment," I ventured. The attendant's smile deepened, and he glanced at a discreet monitor before replying, "Indeed, Ms. Harper. We have your exclusive spa session booked for tonight at 11:05 p.m. Please, follow me." His tone was both warm and conspiratorial. I followed him through a series of corridors that led to a private elevator. As the doors closed behind me, I felt as if I were entering a different world, a realm of luxury and clandestine promises. The elevator ascended swiftly, and when the doors opened, I stepped into an area that was clearly reserved for VIP guests. Soft, ambient music filled the space, and the gentle glow of warm lights cast dancing shadows on elegantly decorated walls. I was led to a private lounge, where plush seating and subtle aromas of lavender and sandalwood created an atmosphere of serene indulgence. I took a seat and allowed myself a moment to absorb the setting. My heart still pounded as I recalled the alert and the inexplicable invitation that had set all of this in motion. I retrieved my phone and saw a new message: "Your secret night awaits. Please confirm your attendance at the spa session to proceed." With a mix of anticipation and trepidation, I pressed confirm. Almost immediately, another message appeared: "Preparation complete. Proceed to the spa. Your admirer awaits." My pulse leaped. The words "your admirer awaits" sent a jolt of electricity through me, a suggestion that someone special, someone who had been silently watching, was now about to reveal themselves. I sat in the lounge, my mind swirling with questions. Who was this mysterious admirer? Had I unknowingly captured their attention through subtle signals in my daily life? The idea was both exhilarating and intimidating. I scanned the room. Elegant guests moved quietly about, engaged in soft conversations, yet none seemed to be paying any particular attention to me. I sipped a glass of chilled white wine, trying to steady my nerves as the clock inched closer to 11 p.m. A final discreet notification arrived on my phone: "Spa session starting now." With a deep breath, I rose from my seat and followed the attendant to a secluded corridor that led to a door marked "Exclusive Spa." I swiped my keycard, and the door opened to reveal a sanctuary of tranquility, a softly lit room where the scent of essential oils mingled with the quiet murmur of water features. Plush towels, aromatic diffusers, and serene artwork adorned the space. This was a place designed to erase the burdens of the day and invite one to sink into blissful relaxation. I was greeted by a serene masseuse, whose gentle smile and calm eyes immediately put me at ease. "Welcome, Ms. Harper," she said in a soothing tone. "We are delighted to have you. Please, make yourself comfortable." I followed her instructions, settling onto a massage table that was draped in crisp, white linens. As the masseuse's skilled hands began to work through the tension in my shoulders, I closed my eyes and let the soothing touch lull me into a state of serene reverie. In that state of gentle relaxation, I felt my mind begin to drift. Amid the soft strains of ambient music and the rhythmic whisper of water, a vivid memory surfaced: an earlier night when I had received a similar alert, and a fleeting glimpse of a figure in a darkened corridor had set my heart aflutter. I recalled the mysterious gaze, the warmth in their eyes, and the silent promise that had passed between us. The memory was as elusive as a dream, yet it left an indelible mark on my soul. I wondered if this spa session was connected to that night, if it was the next chapter in a secret narrative that had been unfolding in my life without my conscious orchestration. The massage deepened, and so did my introspection. I realized that the exclusive spa session was not merely an indulgence in luxury, it was a doorway to understanding a part of myself I had long kept hidden, a part that craved intimacy, mystery, and a connection beyond the ordinary. I began to sense that the repeated online orders for fancy spa experiences, the similar patterns of midnight escapes, and now this sudden alert for a spa session were pieces of a larger puzzle. They were signals from a secret admirer, or perhaps from a hidden part of my own soul, urging me to break free from my carefully constructed walls. As the session continued, my senses heightened. I became aware of subtle details: the gentle hum of the diffuser, the faint sound of footsteps in an adjacent room, the muted click of a distant door. And then, in the midst of this sensory symphony, I heard a soft knock on a side door. Startled, I opened my eyes and looked toward the sound. The masseuse offered me a reassuring smile, as if she had anticipated my reaction. "Please, do not be alarmed," she said softly. "Your admirer has left a message." I rose slowly from the table, my heart fluttering in my chest, and made my way to a small side corridor. There, on a polished wooden desk, lay a single envelope in fine stationery. I opened it with trembling fingers. Inside was a handwritten note that read, "Tonight, beneath the moon's gentle glow, meet me at the Orchid Terrace. Let our hearts converse in the silence of the night. A." The signature was simply a single letter that carried a promise of mystery and intimacy. My mind raced. Could A be the person whose presence I had sensed in fleeting moments, the mysterious admirer who had haunted my midnight escapes? The note was tender, almost poetic, a declaration that promised connection and vulnerability in the quiet of the night. Clutching the note close to my heart, I returned to the spa's main area. The massage had ended, and I was gently escorted to a private lounge where I could freshen up. As I changed into a soft robe provided by the hotel, I couldn't help but feel that the night was taking on a life of its own, a narrative woven from secret alerts, intimate messages, and the tender stirrings of a hidden love. I discreetly checked my phone one last time before leaving, and another notification awaited me: "Prepare for Orchid Terrace. Departure, 11:50 p.m." I stepped out into the cool, starlit night, leaving behind the tranquil haven of the spa. The journey to Orchid Terrace was a quiet one, a rideshare along rain-glazed streets where the city whispered its secrets in shimmering reflections. I arrived at the hotel's back entrance, following discreet signs that guided me to a narrow staircase leading to the terrace. As I climbed, my heart beat faster with anticipation and uncertainty. When I emerged onto the Orchid Terrace, I was greeted by a breathtaking scene. The terrace overlooked a serene garden, its delicate orchids bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. A gentle breeze carried the faint scent of blossoms, mingling with the distant sound of water features and hushed murmurs of the night. I scanned the area, searching for the one who had signed their note simply A. And then, beneath a delicate pergola draped with climbing roses, I saw him, standing alone, his back turned as he gazed out at the horizon. His posture was relaxed, yet his presence was commanding. As I approached, he slowly turned, and in that moment, our eyes met. His dark eyes shone with a mixture of longing and quiet determination, and a small, enigmatic smile played upon his lips. "I'm glad you came," he said softly, his voice carrying the warmth of a secret shared. "I've been waiting for you." Time seemed to slow as we stood there in the gentle glow of the orchid lamps. The world around us faded into a soft blur, the distant hum of the city, the rustle of leaves, and the steady beat of our hearts became the only sounds that mattered. We spoke in hushed tones, sharing fragments of our lives, our desires, and the silent pain of hidden loneliness. He introduced himself as Adrian, a name that resonated with both tenderness and mystery. With each word he spoke, I felt the walls I had built around myself begin to crumble, replaced by a yearning for connection that I had long thought lost. Our conversation flowed naturally, as if we had known each other for a lifetime. Adrian revealed that he, too, had been living a double life, a life of quiet conformity by day and secret, passionate escapes by night. He spoke of an unquenchable desire to break free from the confines of societal expectations, of nights spent wandering opulent corridors in search of something real and transformative. His eyes, filled with both sorrow and hope, told stories of missed opportunities and quiet resilience. As the minutes turned into hours, we shared our dreams, our regrets, and the realization that sometimes, the most profound moments of intimacy arise in the quiet spaces between darkness and dawn. The night on Orchid Terrace became an intimate symphony of whispered promises and soft declarations. We strolled along the terrace, our footsteps light on the dew-kissed grass, as the gentle glow of the moon cast a silver sheen over everything. At one point, Adrian took my hand, his touch tentative yet filled with a quiet certainty, and I felt an electric jolt pass through me. There, under the endless expanse of the starry sky, our hearts conversed in silence. In that moment, all the puzzling email confirmations, the secret midnight escapes, and the hidden patterns of my past converged into a single truth. I was finally ready to embrace the unknown, to let my heart speak in the language of vulnerability and desire. We lingered on the terrace until the first blush of dawn painted the horizon with hues of gold and lavender. When the time came to part ways, Adrian pressed a small, intricately designed card into my hand, a token of our night together, a promise that our paths might cross again. "Until we meet again," he whispered, and with that, he melted into the quiet early morning, leaving me with a heart full of hope and a soul forever changed. In the days that followed that transformative night, my life was forever altered. The mysterious email confirmation that had exposed my hidden pattern of midnight escapes was no longer a secret shame. It had become the spark that ignited a long-suppressed desire for freedom, connection, and passion. I returned to my daily routines with a renewed perspective, my eyes now open to the beauty in the unexpected and the joy in vulnerability. I began to reflect on the recurring nature of these escapes. There was a pattern, a subtle rhythm to my secret nights that revealed an inner self longing for experiences beyond the confines of mundane existence. I had, over the years, booked midnight hotel stays without ever fully understanding why. They had become a way to disconnect from a life that felt stifling, to experience moments of uninhibited emotion, and to explore parts of my identity that I had kept hidden from the world. Now, in the light of my encounter with Adrian and the tender intimacy of Orchid Terrace, I recognized that these escapes were not merely acts of rebellion, they were a journey toward self-discovery. Determined to understand this hidden part of me, I began to keep a detailed journal of every midnight escape. I recorded the names of the hotels, the sensations of each experience, the fleeting encounters that seemed to change my perspective, and the emotions that surged in the quiet hours of the night. As I penned my reflections, a tapestry of experiences emerged, a mosaic of clandestine adventures, secret getaways, and intimate meetings that had allowed me to reclaim a part of my soul I had long thought lost. I learned that the thrill of these escapes was not in the luxury or the anonymity, but in the subtle interplay between solitude and connection, between introspection and the unexpected joy of shared moments. My journal became a trusted confidant, a record of my journey toward authenticity. In its pages, I found not only descriptions of opulent hotel lobbies and quiet corridors but also the raw, unfiltered emotions that each encounter evoked. There were nights when I wept in the solitude of a lavish suite, overcome by the bittersweet realization that the freedom I sought came with a price. There were other nights when I laughed with newfound friends over champagne in dimly lit bars, the sound of our mirth echoing the promise of hope. With each entry, I understood that the mysterious email confirmations had not only exposed my hidden pattern of midnight escapes but had also allowed me to reclaim my right to feel deeply, to love freely, and to live boldly. As weeks turned into months, I encountered others who shared my unspoken rebellion against the constraints of routine. In secret gatherings, I met women and men whose lives, too, were defined by midnight escapes and hidden rendezvous. We exchanged stories of heartache and liberation, each tale a reminder that the pursuit of passion often comes at a cost but also that every sacrifice paves the way for a brighter, more authentic future. These encounters forged deep bonds of friendship, creating a clandestine community united by a shared desire to break free from the invisible chains of convention. Our meetings were intimate and raw, held in private suites, quiet restaurants, or on secluded rooftops where the city's lights shimmered like distant constellations. Together, we explored the delicate balance between longing and fulfillment, vulnerability and strength, forging a path that defied the expectations of the world outside. One evening, as the leaves turned golden with the approach of fall, I received another email confirmation. This one was more elaborate, a digital invitation with ornate graphics and a poetic preamble. It read, "A night of enchantment awaits. Join us for an exclusive spa session at the Celestial Oasis. Revel in serenity, indulge in secret pleasures, and let the night reveal its hidden truths. Confirmation code, Serenade." My heart skipped a beat as I recognized the signature style of these messages, a call not only to indulge in luxury but to open oneself to the mysteries of intimacy. I hesitated only for a moment before replying, yes, and sealing my fate for another midnight escape. At the Celestial Oasis, a spa renowned for its ethereal beauty and discreet service, I found a sanctuary of calm. The spa was an architectural marvel, its design a blend of modern minimalism and ancient tranquility. Soft, diffused light filtered through translucent walls, and the gentle sound of trickling water combined with a subtle, aromatic blend of essential oils to create an almost otherworldly atmosphere. I was greeted by a serene therapist whose eyes held a silent promise of care and discretion. As I immersed myself in the treatments, the soothing massages, the rejuvenating facials, I felt my body and mind begin to relax, the stresses of daily life melting away like ice in the warmth of the rising sun. Yet, amid the tranquility, there was a sense of anticipation, a feeling that something more was about to unfold. I received a discreet notification on my phone, "Your admirer awaits at the moonlit terrace. Proceed at 12:15 a.m. I felt a rush of adrenaline mixed with a profound sense of destiny. The moonlit terrace was said to be the most enchanting part of the Celestial Oasis, a secluded balcony overlooking a moonlit garden, where secrets were shared under the gaze of the stars. I finished my spa session with a quiet determination, freshened up, and made my way to the terrace. There, beneath a canopy of twinkling lights and the gentle glow of the full moon, I saw a solitary figure leaning against a marble balustrade. His posture was relaxed, yet there was an intensity in his eyes that caught me off guard. As I approached, he turned to face me, and I recognized something in his gaze, a reflection of my own hidden desires. "I've been waiting for you," he said softly, his voice a soothing murmur that resonated with my heart. In that moment, everything seemed to align: the mysterious email confirmations, the secret midnight escapes, and the subtle language of scents and whispered promises. I felt an overwhelming sense of connection, as if the universe had conspired to bring us together at this exact moment. We spoke for hours on the moonlit terrace. He introduced himself as Julian, a name that carried with it both mystery and warmth. He told me about his own series of midnight escapes, his search for authenticity in a world that prized conformity. As we shared our stories, I discovered that Julian was not merely an admirer who had been captivated by my secret life. He was someone who, like me, had found solace in the hidden hours of the night, a time when the world shed its pretenses and revealed its true self. Our conversation flowed effortlessly, punctuated by moments of laughter, tender silence, and the soft rustle of leaves in the cool night air. I felt as if every word we exchanged was a step toward healing old wounds and embracing the possibility of a new, passionate beginning. By the time the first light of dawn began to pale the darkness, I knew that this night would linger in my memory as one of the most transformative experiences of my life. Julian and I parted with a promise to meet again. No grand declarations, only a quiet understanding that our connection was real and that the secret language of our midnight escapes had woven our destinies together. In the weeks that followed, my life began to shift in profound and unexpected ways. The puzzling email confirmations and the secret midnight escapes were no longer hidden habits or impulsive acts of rebellion. They had become a vital part of who I was. I embraced every new message, every discreet invitation, as a call to step into a world of authenticity and passion. I started to integrate these escapes into my life with intention, planning getaways not as escapes from reality but as journeys toward discovering the deepest parts of myself. I traveled to cities I had never visited, each hotel and club revealing a different facet of the human experience. I began to understand that the thrill of these midnight adventures was not solely in the luxury or the anonymity, but in the raw, unfiltered emotions that surfaced when I allowed myself to be truly present. The fleeting yet powerful connections with strangers, be it the gentle intimacy of a spa session, the poetic conversation on a moonlit terrace, or the quiet understanding shared over a glass of wine, taught me that vulnerability was not a weakness, but a profound strength. One particularly transformative escape led me to a coastal resort where the sound of crashing waves and the salt-kissed breeze seemed to wash away years of self-imposed restraint. I spent long hours wandering the beach at midnight, feeling the cool sand under my feet and the endless horizon stretching before me. In that moment, I realized that the secret pattern of my midnight getaways was a journey toward liberation, a way to reconnect with the wild, untamed parts of my soul that had been buried beneath layers of routine and fear. I recorded my thoughts in my journal, writing with a fervor that was both cathartic and illuminating. Every word, every description of a starry sky or a whispered conversation, was a testament to the beauty of breaking free from the confines of normalcy. The encounters with Julian, Adrian, Celeste, and countless other kindred spirits wove themselves into the fabric of my daily life. I began to cherish the memory of each intimate rendezvous, not as isolated events but as chapters in an ongoing narrative of self-discovery. I learned to appreciate the delicate interplay of emotion and experience, how a single, puzzling email could set in motion a cascade of transformative moments that reshaped my understanding of love, desire, and personal freedom. I even started sharing my journey, carefully and selectively, with a few trusted friends. Their astonishment, empathy, and encouragement helped me see that my secret escapes were not signs of weakness but declarations of independence. I discovered that I was not alone in my desire to break free. Others, too, had harbored hidden dreams of a life less ordinary, and my revelations became a spark that inspired them to question their own routines. As the months passed, I found that my outlook on life had fundamentally changed. The secret midnight escapes had taught me that life's most profound joys often lay in the unexpected, in the quiet moments of vulnerability, the thrill of a whispered secret, and the courage to step into a realm where intimacy and authenticity reigned. I no longer dreaded the dark hours of midnight. Instead, I welcomed them as a time of reflection, renewal, and possibility. Every new email confirmation for a spa session or a getaway became a beacon of hope, a reminder that, regardless of the pressures of everyday life, there was always a part of me that yearned to live boldly and authentically. I embraced these messages with a renewed sense of purpose, viewing them not as anomalies in my routine but as invitations to create a life defined by passion, curiosity, and unyielding freedom. Now, as I sit here reflecting on the tapestry of my midnight escapes, I feel a deep gratitude for the mysterious forces that set me on this path. The puzzling email confirmation that exposed my hidden pattern of hotel stays was not a mere glitch or an error. It was a turning point, a gentle nudge from the universe urging me to discover who I truly was. Every secret rendezvous, every intimate evening, has contributed to the transformation of my heart and spirit, forging a new identity that is as resilient as it is tender, as daring as it is compassionate. I have come to understand that life is not meant to be lived in the confines of routine, but in the dance between certainty and risk, between the known and the mysterious. My midnight escapes are a celebration of that dance, a continuous journey of self-discovery and a testament to the power of embracing the unknown.